What's happening, Nooch?
Man, how's it going, Fish? Ain't seen you in a minute.
In a minute, man. Last time we talked, I think it was still cool. It is no longer. It's 103
It
again.
is.
Happy May.
Uh, yeah, I think we topped out 97 today, but we're supposed to hit triple digits this weekend.
Hmm. See, I guess it's moving that way because, yeah. Usually I would expect you guys to have it first, but nope, we got it.
We're still ridiculously windy right now, so that is kind of
Oh,
keeping
it's still in
things.
Texas.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So it's not as hot.
Ridiculously windy here. It just feels like an oven or a hair dryer is what it feels like.
Right, correct. Yes, exact same thing
103
here.
mile per hour southwest winds coming off of Mexico, I guess.
Oh, nice. See, our winds are still coming more kind of almost northwestish, so we're still getting winds out of New Mexico.
Nope, nope, not us. Hey, I like
Yeah,
this guy behind me.
yeah, yeah. He's pretty good.
Dude, he's
How
been.
about the Avita table we have now?
Oh yeah, and I talked to you about that too. My boys are coming to visit me this weekend. They're gonna pass several Rouses on their way out,
Yeah,
and my oldest son is old enough to purchase daddy some beer. And I said, yeah.
nice.
I told him you got to hook me up, bring me some Avita, boy. I went to a liquor store the other day. I bought crawfish finally. They finally
Nice.
and it was really good. I didn't forget how to do it. That's good. But
Good, good.
boiled crawfish and shrimp. But I went to pick up the crawfish, and on my way back, I said, "Man, I'm gonna stop and get some Abita at these liquor stores up here in North San Antonio, where I usually get it. They don't have it. You know what they had? Strawberry, and that's like the worst
Ah,
Abita that I've ever. That's the worst Abita.
it's uh it's probably the worst I ever tasted them.
Mhm.
Uh, but there's a lot of like I've never tried any of like the different IPAs that they do and that type of stuff. I've never tried any of those because I'm
Well,
not
it's
an
the worst that
IPA
I've
guy.
tried. The worst that I've tried.
Yeah, I agree. I bought one for the wife whenever we went home a couple weeks ago. She didn't care for it.
The
Uh,
strawberry,
yeah, the
I don't,
strawberry.
I don't like it. Don't
No,
like.
I'd rather. I typically stick with the ambers, but every now and then I'll buy the party pack that has the Turbo Dog, some Andy Gator,
I like the
Purple
purple
Haze, and
haze.
Amber.
I like purple haze. I don't really care for Andy Gator that much.
You should uh you should try the Barney if they ever come out with the Barney again, which was like a seasonal sometimes thing. It's a mixture of Andy Gator and Purple Haze.
Okay.
So it doesn't quite have as much as to it as the Andy Gator does as far as alcohol volume, but it's got more than the
More
Purple
than
Haze
purple haze.
by mixing them. Yeah, it kind of meets in the middle. It's pretty good, but it's like a seasonal only every now and then kind of thing.
Kind of like baseball.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So we are deep in the heart of it. We the last
We
time we
get
talked a while back, man. Um, I told Nooch before we started, I'm gonna pick on him a little bit because sometime between the last podcast we did and this one, we were kind of following a game, and he and I text each other during the games and complain or boom or whatever it is. And
yeah.
he said something along the lines of, "It's time to start thinking about who we get to replace Yetsky, Nate
Yeah.
Yetsky." And at the time, my first thought as we were sitting there with like one run was, "What about the hitting coach?" Because he wasn't
Yeah.
doing too great either. And his name's Jay Johnson, by the way.
Right.
But
Yeah.
so I started doing a little research, and I've been following this, and it's actually gotten better since I started following it. But our team ERA is 3.81 right now, as it sits right now on May 14th, leading into the
Yeah.
last weekend series against South Carolina. Paul
Yeah.
Paul Maneri. But anyway, 3.81, that's good for number 11 in the country. In the country.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
you can go ahead and critique it because it's warranted. We have four
It
guys
is.
that make up that.
Yeah, we do. And when you're in a regular season, you can get away with only four. Um, but the grind we're about to get into, especially if we make it into Omaha, four is not enough. I mean, you need, and I will say Shores has looked better of late.
Last
So
couple of
if
weeks, last
Shores,
couple of games,
yeah,
yes. Took him
because
out of the
even
starting rotation. He was Sunday
yes,
starter last time we did a podcast.
correct,
He is no
correct.
longer.
Um, I mean, even if you get Cade Anderson to throw a complete game and Ianson follows that up with a complete game, you still got to piece together another 2 or 3 games in Omaha before you get back to those guys. And Evans, I'm at the point with Evans and Cohen is I may be in favor of flip-flopping them.
Yeah, me too. I was thinking the same thing.
Cohen's got some starting experience at Wofford, and Evans was lights out in the pen. And he hasn't been bad, really. Honestly, this weekend, absolutely shafted him. He had strike three for out three, and for whatever reason, the umpire decided he didn't want to give him that call. And they scored 3 runs that inning, I think, or four. So, he should have been out of it, but wasn't. But he's starting to, you only get so much out of. That's it. He's a 3 inning guy, and I'm
Well,
fine with that.
let's kind of lead into that because the last time we talked, the rotation was Cade Anderson on Friday nights. That still is
Yeah,
what it is. Um, that cat behind us was on Saturdays, and we were like, he's all right. He's real good. He's
yeah,
real good. Nooch is going to talk about some of his numbers. And then on Sunday, we were starting Chase Shores, and then Kason Evans and Zach Cowan were the two bullpen guys that we could count on. Well, the first time we tried it, we got a complete game out of one of the first two, and then Cowan pitched the other one. He finished
yeah,
the other one, and then we went into that Sunday game, and Kason Evans hasn't pitched, so he starts, and he's nails. And we're like, oh, we got this figured out. Well,
yeah,
like Newt said, the last couple of weeks it hadn't quite it's gone the same way as far as the rotation. He started the last couple of Sundays, but the results haven't been quite as good. He hasn't been bad. I mean,
no,
speaking of
no,
his
he's definitely
ERA,
not bad.
his ERA is 2.02.
Right, correct.
That
He's
Cowan's
not.
is 1.85.
Yeah, he's
Nuts.
definitely not bad. He's a three get you into a fourth inning type of guy. That's what I mean. He's
Yeah.
a true freshman, so that's pretty goddamn good. It's definitely not a knock on him at all. But I'm leaning towards the way Jay Johnson's doing it is he's going out there and trying to win Friday and Saturday first, period. So maybe if we could slide Evans into that Cohen role and let him pitch in either the Friday or Saturday game. And honestly, if Saturday comes and you got a shot to win it and you need to bring Evans out of the bullpen then, or bring Cohen out of the bullpen, then do it. And then you piece together Sunday. Uh,
Yeah, win the
or if,
win the series, but
yeah, win the series. And then if you don't need to, well, then you got Cohen who's got starting experience at Wofford. He can start. He can go deep. He can throw a lot of innings for you. I'm I wouldn't be opposed to them trying to flip-flop those two for right now.
I'm with you on that. LSU has more than four pitchers though. Um, I will say this: ever since Nooch said that, uttered those words, um, the pitching has seemed to improve pretty much all the way
Yes.
around.
Yeah,
Everybody,
and
everybody's pretty much getting a little better.
and that's actually against a pretty rough part of the schedule too.
Dude,
I mean,
Arkansas, in my opinion, LSU just took 2 out of 3 from Arkansas. My opinion, Arkansas, I hate to say it, probably the best team in the country overall. Round.
second best.
Okay,
Hey, we took 2 out of 3. We have the
I
same
agree.
record.
At
I,
home,
I, I
I agree.
we're
Tell me,
okay.
boy, tell
We're
me it ain't important for LSU to win a national series,
sure.
dude.
Oh,
So much better
absolutely,
at
it
home.
is.
So much
Yeah,
better. At home.
absolutely. But I mean, the pollsters seem to think we're number one right now. So
Yeah,
I'm not going to argue with them. So
the
I do think
RPI doesn't agree. The RPI doesn't agree. Um,
that's fine. Yeah, because RPI
I,
has us down at like 7, but you got to realize that RPI is that's just a way of adding things mathematically. So like
so
you
facts.
get no, it's in RPI you get dinged like the Grambling game that got rained out that we didn't play. We would have gotten dinged just for playing them. We could have beat them 700 to nothing,
Yeah.
and you still get
No, I know
dinged.
how
So
RPI works, but when I say Arkansas, okay, I'm talking about all three phases of the game. That's the best team we faced all year. Their
I
pitching,
agree.
their hitting is unreal, and LSU did really well, especially
Yeah.
with Cade and then with Anthony Ianson. Just oh my god, and then and their fielding percentage is really high. They're
Yeah,
just a really well-rounded team.
they are. And honestly,
Are they
look, we
number one
played
RPI or number? No, Georgia's number.
uh Georgia's one right now.
Yeah, I
And
think they're
look,
top three.
beating Arkansas right now is definitely is saying something because Dave Van Horn is notorious for peaking before postseason starts. So we're catching them at their
They've kind of
peak.
had LSU's number the last few years, except when it really counted.
Right, yeah, except when it matters.
Yeah.
Uh so like I said, they peak right around now, right before postseason. So okay, we got them.
And
That's
then
all
they
that
drop
matters.
out balls. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, LSU, that was a huge series. I was really happy to get, LSU fans are so stupid. It's so stupid. LSU has won series against some seriously good teams. And
Yes.
something that I hear every Friday night is, why can't we hit against SEC pitching? The same reason they can't hit
It's
against Cade Anderson. The same reason
yeah,
they can't hit against Anthony Ianson because we're
it,
facing major league pitching.
yeah, I mean, I went through the numbers and I did the magic number thread to see exactly what it took for us to clinch one of those top four seeds in Hoover. And shit, man, from there, Hatch asked what it took to actually clinch a top eight seed. Shit, the SEC may have six teams in that top eight, which is that's just how good and deep this conference is. Every weekend you're facing one to two absolute studs on the mound. And runs are going to be at a premium. And I hear fans complain about, Josh Jordan, and he's always got the windmill going at third, and it's bad sins. And it's because, well,
Safe, safe.
yeah,
He gets
he's had a
lucky. He gets
he's had a
lucky.
he's had a couple of outs in there too, but it's because runs are at a premium and you got to score runs and you're not always going to get that 3-run home run against a Friday night guy, against a Saturday night guy. I would love to get him, but that's not always going to happen. Nice. What's up, Sancho? How you
Yeah,
doing?
that's him. He decided to jump up on the table here.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no runs are at a premium. You're right, and that's we've gotten lucky a couple of games in a row with some with again a great fielding Arkansas team mishandling relays, dropping the
Yeah,
ball.
even like the monsters, which shout out to my man Crush. He's gotten
Oh,
the first ever walk off strikeout I have ever witnessed while watching on TV. So kudos to him.
whatever it takes, man. I mean, he got a jack in that series too, so I'm proud of him. But
Yeah,
man,
yeah, he
he's been
did.
scuffling.
Yeah, he has. I mean, there's no really. He's basically feast or famine. He's got a couple of bombs in SEC play and really not much else right now.
He's got
Um,
that walk off strikeout.
Yeah, he does have that, but I will say this: he's as solid of a middle infielder as we've had.
Who was that
I
scored
mean,
on that walk off?
that was Dickinson.
Yeah,
Dickinson scored, which
Dickinson's
again,
been really good.
I don't know how a guy who's the starting catcher on not just a D1 baseball team, but easily one of the top two or three teams in the entire country doesn't even reach halfway to third throwing that way. Because I mean, shit, dude, he spiked that pitch at only about 40 feet.
I think it looked like he tried to stop. He's like, oh wait, and then
Well, and honestly, my son and I were watching the game, Calvin, and we both agree why even make
why
that
you
throw?
threw it? Yeah,
In Little League, you're
I
taught
think he
just
regretted
run
it.
him. Yeah, even in Little League, you're taught run the runner all the way back to
He
third because he
regretted it
doesn't hurt
about
you.
right here.
Yeah,
Come on,
yeah.
he spiked it.
But that's what you do. You run him back to third base. He can't hurt you as long as he's standing on third base. So,
So you
but
take
I'll
a
take
look
it.
at something that happened since we met. Derek Curiel, he only made it 43 games. Uh,
Yeah,
43 game on base streak to start his college career on one of the best, the number one team in the country.
Man,
Um,
not just the 43 straight, 38 of those 43 were multiple times in those games.
well, and then so he has the one where he doesn't get on base, ruins the streak, and then I want to say he was 9 for his next 9 at bats.
Yeah, he was.
Something ridiculous. It was like he was pissed. He didn't, damn it. And he was just hitting the
Yeah.
ball all over the place. Since then, he's had a couple of games with some offers, but so he is human.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'll
For
tell you
now.
what, you name me true freshman that starts at leadoff on the number one team in the country or one of the top 10 teams, whatever you want to call us in the country, and does as well as he has.
Man, I can't really think of one off the top of my head.
Awesome.
You know, we've had a couple of true freshmen that came in and started right away here. Bregman and Cruz, both in the bigs now.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think he doesn't have the power that those two guys have,
Yet,
but I think he's a better overall hitter as
yet.
far as true hitting. Yeah,
Talking
correct.
about
Yeah.
Bregman, Bregman didn't hit a lot of home runs at LSU. I mean, he didn't hit a whole
No,
lot of
he
home runs.
he didn't, and there's a few reasons for that. He was kind of still in the heat of the BB core era where the bats were completely
True,
dead.
true.
And but he gave an interview early on in his rookie year with the Astros, and they basically taught him how to put backspin on the ball. And now a lot of what were, liners in the gap and wanting track power flyouts at LSU carried a little bit more.
Well, because at Houston, they wanted him to, I mean, they got that short porch and left. And then, of course, then he goes to Boston. He's got the monster, but it's not a deep left field either. So,
It's actually they're the same distance from each other, same distance from the plate as each other, just the monster's 40 foot tall.
yeah.
So his double, I haven't looked at his numbers, but his doubles numbers are going to skyrocket and his batting average should go up as well.
Yeah.
You see a lot of guys later in their career when they go to Boston, everybody's like, man, is this guy juicing? No, it's flyouts everywhere else. In Boston, it's a double. So,
He knew.
yeah,
All right, I'm not going to single anybody out to pick on. Why does
you
Jake Brown
can.
ever come out of a game? Why does Jake Brown ever not play right field? Let's put it that way. Why does he ever not
Okay.
field?
Um,
Why?
because he looks like a middle schooler against lefties.
Okay.
There's a reason his batting average is currently in the 180s against lefties, and it looks like it. I'm shocked it's as high as it is against lefties. It's actually really bad. Now against righties, I wish I had his splits in front of me, but those are hard to come by in college game. Against righties, he absolutely destroys them, but he can't hit a lefty to save his life.
Well, definitely needs to work on that. Um, he's one of the best players on the team.
Ah,
Top
absolutely.
top two, top three max.
Top three for
Overall
sure.
player.
Yeah,
Overall,
top three for sure. Position
top three
players,
for sure.
top three.
I'm never taking him out of the lineup. And something else. Quit bunting. Just quit bunting him. Damn it. You
Yeah.
see a guy hit a ball like he hit the other night, and then next game, he squaring up. Shut up. Swing away, man.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
really
I'm a big fan and defender of Jay Johnson, but I still question him at times.
oh, that crap midweek game. I don't even remember who we were playing. We lost. I know that. Who was it? Northwestern. Starting Jared Jones at
Boy,
third
did we
base.
lose.
Starting Jared Jones. Yeah, we got a run rule. Why are you starting Jared
Yeah.
Jones at third base? Jared Jones has. There's no way you can convince me he's ever played third base in his life. No way.
Yeah.
I mean, he's such a prototypical first baseman. And oh, by the way, he's like an All-American at
Yeah.
first base. Let me try him at third. Why would you do
The
that late in the season? Do that in
the only
fall
the only reason I guess you would do that,
is
and it's a
because he wanted to get
stretch.
all three of those cats in the lineup at the same time. Ethan Fry,
Yeah.
Jake Brown, and Josh. That's why he did
Yeah.
it. He just
Yeah,
can't, he
that's the
can't
only reason.
stand it.
Yeah. And yeah, like I said, there's definitely some moves he makes that just uh, like one that you and I agree on. Why does Reeves ever even get to touch a baseball bat this time of year? I don't. And
Well,
not to
no,
knock on
because
Reeves, but
I'm not gonna, and see, that's why I said I'm not gonna throw somebody under the bus because I was biting my tongue on that because I'm looking at his numbers versus my guys, which his batting average is better than my guys, except my guy's batting 300 in SEC play. I
right.
don't care what Michael Braswell did in the beginning of the season. I couldn't
No,
care less. He's a 4 year starter in the SEC, and we already know he hit over 300 last year in the SEC.
yeah, exactly.
And he's a
And
much better third baseman.
yeah, he's oh, absolutely a better third baseman. So Reeves is a guy. I don't know. Maybe you put him in a spot to take a righty spot, maybe, and not Braswell, not
Not Braswell
Stanfield.
though.
So not Braswell, Stanfield, not Dickinson. I don't know who you would replace. I can't think of who I would take out to put him in the swing a bat right now.
I can't either. I was thinking maybe one of the catchers and then bring in the other one, but hell, both of them bat better than him.
Both of them are better hitters right now. Uh,
Kate Aaron coming on. He looks good.
yeah, oh, absolutely. And you could tell Luis Hernandez knows it too, because he stepped up his game
Mhm.
because he knows he's got some comp behind him.
Well, you can't go through a season. We saw that with Travinsky and Milazzo. You can't go through a season with one catcher.
No, absolutely not. Which is why I'm actually glad they gave Aaron Beatty some playing time over the weekend because you're going to need him to catch, if not in
In
Hoover,
the
in Omaha.
postseason. Yeah.
Yeah. So him catching against Northwestern State doesn't help us. He needs to be able to catch in a big spot. Period.
Yep. So, all right. So LSU, D1 baseball and maybe Baseball America. I don't remember which couple of publications have LSU number one. Number seven in the RPI.
Four publications have us number one right now.
Four. All right.
Perfect Game, D1, uh, Baseball
Baseball
America,
America.
and USA Today.
Okay. And that and 50 cents will buy you a really bad cup of coffee when it comes to postseason selection.
I agree.
LSU needs to, I'd like to see us at least take the series against South Carolina coming up. It would
I I
thrill me if
think
we could sweep. It scares the shit out of me that's on the road and it's Paul.
uh I think honestly my gut feeling, barring a complete catastrophe of a finish, I think we've clinched a top eight seed. I think we're
I
in. I think
probably
that's a
right.
done
It just
deal.
depends on it's not in our hands if we lose, it's not in our hands. And
Well, the good thing is most of the teams battling us all have to play teams. We're kind of in the driver's seat that we're not playing against another team in the competing for it. You got your
okay.
tennis. So somebody in that spot is gonna lose this weekend, period, because they're playing each other.
But
So
here's the
even
thing, though. Yeah, somebody's going to lose. You're right. You're right. But you got other. It's not just the SEC. I know it's mostly the SEC. It really is mostly the SEC. But you got Florida State out there. You got Clemson out there. There's other teams.
so
Um,
Florida State, I think also is probably already in the
yeah.
top eight. So I don't really I kind of look at who's going to take our spots. And honestly, I see a lot of shuffling in the top eight. I don't really see anybody from outside the top eight
Coming in,
climbing in,
knocking somebody
climbing,
out.
climbing in, and us dropping all the way from where we are now out of the top eight. I
Okay.
think we're more comfortably somewhere in a 2-3 seed, and with a horrible finish, could be a 7-8 seed. But I think we're comfortably in the top eight. It'll just be shuffling
Well, I hope
within
you're
that
right.
eight now.
I hope you're right because that's going to be huge. One thing I do know, well, a couple of things I know, but one of them I learned this year. uh Actually, I guess both of them I learned this year. LSU plays a lot better at the box. Okay.
Oh,
I didn't just
absolutely.
learn
Yeah.
this year, but I mean, just seeing it the last few weekends, we go and lose a series to Texas A&M, which we absolutely should have won. And come in that Arkansas goes and sweeps. Texas because Texas had to step over into Arkansas's home turf,
Yeah.
and then Arkansas comes to LSU and we beat them. So home field advantage is huge. That's the point
Oh,
there,
oh,
right?
absolutely.
Um, by the way, Missouri won their first three games of the year this past weekend when they swept the Aggies. That's
Yeah.
hilarious. Hadn't won
It
0-21 coming into the series, and they
They were
sweep
0
the
and
Aggies.
24 coming into the
You're
series.
right. 0-24. You're right.
And
Yep.
I actually, yeah, I'm not
27
gonna
before
lie,
that.
I'm kind of pissed. I was rooting for them to go 0 and 30. Do you know how freaking difficult it is to go 0 and
It's,
30 and not screw up and win a game?
they did it, man. They
And they
swept.
didn't just
They didn't
win.
just win a game. They swept.
They kicked the shit out of them in the last two.
They swept a team that had a chance at the postseason, which I think is
Yeah.
over. They no longer have a chance. And that was a team that
Uh,
was number one earlier at the
so
start of the season.
they're I think A&M's only shot now is to win the SEC tournament. Because
Yeah.
whoever
Yeah, you're
wins the
right. If they
SEC
win the
tournament gets the
tournament,
auto bid.
yeah, they get the
They get the
auto
auto
bid.
bid.
That's how we wound up
Uh
playing Tulane that year. Tulane won some tournament. Oh my
yeah,
God.
they won the conference, whatever. They're not
Whatever
Conference
conference
USA
they were in
anymore, whatever
anymore.
they're in now.
AAC or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And they had a
Man,
losing record. They were terrible.
yeah, yeah. So A&M, if things hold and they miss the postseason, they are going to be the first team in the entire history of the modern era to start the season number one and not make the postseason.
That's the
And
aggiest
look,
thing
they
ever.
weren't just number one, they were unanimous number one. They were number one in every single poll
But I
imaginable,
wonder why. And it
include
goes to tell you, these pollsters, how you lose your coach and you come out number one in every single poll. Not only did you lose your coach, a lot of your core players from that team that was in the championship game last year, the championship series, went with the coach.
I
What?
don't
What were they thinking? Oh, they're going to be number
I
one.
don't know. I don't That's why honestly, I don't pay attention to polls in baseball because unlike football, the polls are absolutely
I mean,
100%
that's why I
meaningless.
said
I mean they
it's
don't
fun to
go
say your
towards
team's
anything.
number one, but whatever.
Yeah, it's good to look at just to kind of give yourself a ballpark idea where you're at, but they don't mean shit. I mean, us being number one, we could sweep Carolina, play 3 games in Hoover, win an SEC tournament, and still not be the number one overall seed. I mean,
Well,
so
not only that, I mean, what you're positioning for right now, I hope you're right. We've got a top eight seed locked up because
yeah,
that way the road goes through the box. The whole way
yeah. So,
goes through the box.
and I think Jay knows that as well because they already announced TBA is starting Thursday night as our pitcher.
That
Well,
scares me a little bit, actually.
it's
Something to talk about.
I'm
I didn't
I'm
realize
I'm
that.
curious. Yeah, it's already been announced. We're keeping Anderson on Friday and Ianson on Saturday. So we're basically flip-flopping it. We're treating game one like game three.
Okay.
Except your typical game three, you already know who was and wasn't used on games one and two.
Yeah, because
Now
we don't
we're
have
going in
a
there.
steady, which, the good news is there's a lot of people. That's another thing LSU fans are really stupid about when they say, oh, well, you got to have a Sunday starter. Nobody's got a Sunday starter. If you got a
No,
Sunday starter, you're doing something. Remember when we had
yes.
O'Shea and he was a Sunday starter? That's very rare.
Yeah.
Very rare that
Um,
you have a Sunday. He threw two no hitters in that season. They
so,
were
so
seven
he
inning
did.
no hitters, but so be it. But
Yeah.
he was great.
But I think Jay Johnson's worried about keeping guys on schedule. So
I hope
right
so.
now, that's pretty much what it is.
Well, you know why
So
I'm saying that though, because the last time we saw Cade Anderson, he came out of the game with a problem with his arm, and Jay said it was a cramp, and it kind of looked like a cramp because I know he went into the locker room and he came right back out into the dugout, and he had a
yeah,
band-aid. He had a band-aid right there where you would get an IV
right.
cramp. Okay, that's what Jay's going with. Heard him say it yesterday in a press conference, so I hope he's telling the truth because
He's
he
at
didn't
at
tell the
the
truth about Gavin Gidry.
yeah uh at the moment at least LSU announced he's starting Friday night.
All right,
So
we'll see.
we'll see.
That
And
scares me that he's not starting Thursday. I did not know that.
well,
I'm a little shook right now.
But if you look at it, if you go on LSU Sports website, they do the preview for the weekend,
Mhm.
and all they did was basically move what you typically see on Sunday. They moved it to game one. So
Yeah,
they got Anderson listed on Friday night, they got Ianson listed on Saturday. And if you
TBA
look
Thursday.
if you look mathematically speaking, chances are LSU is going to finish as either the 2 or the 3 seed in the SEC, which means our first tournament game will be on Friday. And once regionals start, the first game is on Friday. So you can keep Anderson and Ianson Friday, Saturday for the
Oh,
next
I get the
three
logic, but
weeks.
he's not done that before. You know,
Yeah,
other
but you
teams have
also
done it. Like Mississippi State did it against us, and we didn't do it.
right. But
So he's shown a propensity to not do that. I know it makes sense.
it but also we shit, I honestly I don't know when's the last time we've been in the position where we've had I don't want to call it a throwaway series, but
Yeah, it's not.
we got to
I don't think it's
is because it's not, but we have a series this weekend that is nowhere near as important as what's coming right behind it. Like
the
this one,
SEC tournament to me is a throwaway, especially now that it's single elimination all the way through.
yeah, it's
I don't care about
it's
the SEC tournament this year.
I don't
I
either,
hate to say
but
that, but because that's usually like special when Paul was here. That was a big deal. Paul loved to win the SEC tournament. And he was damn good at doing it.
yeah, he
Um,
might do it this year
he
with the
might do
shitty
it
ass
this year.
team.
He might get it. He might get a bid. But
Yeah,
yeah, it wouldn't surprise me honestly. But yeah, I don't really. That's not my focus this year. Um, LSU's playing a little better. They're pitching a little better. LSU's defense this year has been a pleasant surprise to me. Not that I thought they were going to be bad, but they've been really solid. Maybe more so than I. Not that I didn't expect them to be. It's just that I didn't know because we have so many new faces. Jay
right,
Johnson's been saying we're not a young team, but we're a new team. And
correct.
that's what he's talking about. We have a lot of older players like Luis Hernandez you mentioned earlier, um, Daniel Dickinson,
Yeah,
guys that have been around, but
yeah.
they're
I
new
mean,
to us.
Brad. When we had Brad as well last year, Stanfield's a senior.
Stanfield
He's a new guy here.
and dude
Uh,
Dickinson has been solid,
oh
solid,
yeah. Uh,
really,
I
really
kind of
great defensively.
yeah,
Has
very
he
good
made an error?
defensively.
I can't
Shit,
remember one.
that's a good question. I'd have to look that up. I'll tell you that shortly.
Remember one.
I'm sure he has,
Probably.
but
I'm gonna go look.
I got it up right here. Give me a second. Dickinson. Right here. He has 3 errors on the season.
3 years, okay. Well, still, for somebody in middle infielder, that's yeah, I see 3 errors. Milam has three.
Yeah, that's impressive numbers for two middle infielders who get a lot of action.
Yeah. Who the hell is Mikey Ryan?
He
Tanner Reeves has
he's
five, dude. Five. Shut up.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So, but
Hardly
yeah,
plays.
real quick to kind of touch back on the pitchers because we only got about 6 minutes left of this. Um, this guy right here. Look, in SEC play as a whole, his ERA is 2.86, which is impressive. That's a
Mhm.
damn good number. You drop that down to like his last 4 weekends, and now he's at 1.35. Or let's just go his last two starts. 0.6 ERA
Amazing.
with 25 strikeouts, 2 walks. He's I think he's found it.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what I think is interesting about in the beginning of the year, I was thinking about he and Kate Anderson, they're both effective, but neither one's efficient. But now Ianson has become efficient.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
he's
I
become
mean,
efficient.
he threw shit, dude, his complete game was at what, 112? That's not it's
Yeah,
not an extraordinary number. When Kate Anderson threw his complete game, he was at
130 something.
135.
Yeah.
Yeah, so We pulled him.
Cade, he's not efficient, but he's phenomenal. He's just not
Yeah.
efficient.
And especially when you consider that Ianson's a strikeout guy,
Yeah,
that's going to build up your pitch count. I mean, it just does.
and he usually now I don't remember the last 2 weeks how he started. Or to be fair, I didn't catch the very beginning of the last 2 weeks that he's pitched. I caught most of it, but just didn't catch the first couple of innings. But usually he was starting off slow, and then he would get it rolling.
Yeah. Well,
But
he's fixed
now
that.
he
he's
fixes it.
he's fixed that.
Yeah,
He
we've just been
he's man, he's just like I said, he's an absolute stud.
yeah,
He could have easily had a complete game this weekend against Arkansas, but we had the 10-run lead, so we yanked him, which I understood. He was at 90 something pitches, no reason to make him throw anymore.
yeah.
He could have
I
went he
guess.
could have went he could have went further. The weekend before that, he threw the complete game against A&M. And shit, even his only loss in that mix was against Tennessee, and he gave up 2 runs. That was it. Two. So
He's been amazing. It's absolutely
I'll say this,
very pleasant.
assuming Cade Anderson is still healthy and we get Cade Anderson that we've been having, I think we got the best 1-2 punch in America.
Oh yeah, I already think we do. Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Um, with those two. All right. So LSU heading to Columbia, South Carolina. I wouldn't hate going to a game there, a series there one year. We ought to plan
Yeah.
that. We ought to
We
plan
could do
that and
that.
take a little trip together and go out there with the wives and that's a
Is
pretty
there
cool
anything
stadium
in
out there.
Columbia?
It's a pretty cool stadium. I like South Carolina too.
Okay.
South Carolina, if you get close to the coast, like I've worked around Charleston and Myrtle Beach and all that, kind of reminds you of a clean Louisiana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's
Uh
marshy and it's got mosquitoes and humidity and shit.
oh, home.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
home. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Big oak trees, beautiful oak trees, nice place, good food, even.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Well,
that's where
I'll add it. I'll add it to my list.
okay. Well, that's where LSU is heading tomorrow. This is Wednesday night. So yeah, tomorrow
Yep. Tomorrow
season
night.
the last series of the season kicks off. And so what are you expecting?
Um,
Oh, by the way,
I
Paul Maneri, if you hadn't heard the reference a couple of times, Paul Maneri, for some reason, came out of retirement and took a job as South Carolina's head coach, and they suck.
yeah, and they suck.
They're
Yeah.
terrible.
I'm pretty sure. I'm confident we'll win the series. We'll take 2 or 3. We'll finish as the 3 seed in the SEC, which actually timing wise works out great. Which means our game will be Friday night at 7-ish, maybe 8. When maybe weather could roll in Hoover and we won't finish till 1:17 a.m., which is usually a good thing for
That's a
us.
magic number for us. Well,
Yeah,
yell out to God's ears. I hope that's exactly what happens. I hope, or we sweep. But either way, just lock up that national seed, baby.
yeah,
Road goes
definitely.
through the box.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody come check us out over at GameDayTigers.com. Nooch has a post up right now talking about the magic number for the SEC tournament seeding.
Yeah,
And I'm
be
sure
top
he'll
4.
he'll pop one up for national seed, maybe.
It's pretty much the same number.
Yeah, I
If
think it
we
is.
clinch
You're
top,
right. It is.
yeah,
It
we
is.
clinch top 4 in the SEC. We're
Yeah,
top
we're a
8 in the
national
nation.
seed. You're right because the SEC is just the SEC is college baseball this year. Hey, everybody, come
Yeah,
check us out at GameDayTigers.com. Go Tigers!
go Tigers.